Hey everybody, it's Hannah with EDM Identity, and I'm here with Markus Schulz. How's your EDC been going so far?
Well, we just got here, but you guys have an amazing view here,
I
and
know,
it
we're so
looks
spoiled here.
absolutely stunning. So I'm excited to get up on stage, and I mean, the crowd looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good crowd. They're waiting for you, and we're ready. So despite all the changes in dance music trends you've seen over the years, you've held very steady with your progressive trance sound. Do you do anything to make it more special for a festival like EDC?
Oh, absolutely. Like, yeah, I mean, I've been planning this. You know, you plan for certain milestones in the year. I think the last, we planned for New Year's Eve, then Miami Music Week, and then EDC. So, yeah, this has all been like, all year long, just planning for this, saving tracks, like putting tracks aside just for tonight. So, yeah, it's I think the crowd's going to be, the crowd's definitely going to be in for an experience, and that's what we always want to do. Every time we put on a show, like, play at a place like this, it's like you want to bring your A game.
Gotta keep outdoing the last set and just keep getting better.
That's it.
So your remake of Turn, Turn, Turn by The Byrds works so unexpectedly well as a trance anthem.
Yeah.
How did you make that discovery?
Actually, Sir Ivan, he came to me with the idea, and, at first I was very hesitant, but just with everything going on, I just felt like it's a message of peace, and so, I mean, the track itself, though, the old Bird song, I mean, I loved it, it's a beautiful track. So it just took some planning and trying to figure out exactly how to interpret it in a trance way, and I'm quite pleased with the outcome, that's for sure.
How long did it take you to put that together?
It's been a while, like, 6 months, I think,
Oh my gosh, wow.
to, really dial it in right. So yeah, we've been working on it for a while.
Awesome. And we saw that you shared your In Bloom 2024 mix last month. Are there any up-and-coming artists that you featured on the mix that you think deserve more attention?
Well, I mean, the whole In Bloom journey, it's, it focuses on individual vocalists and the writers and everything. But for me, I always wanted to paint a picture of, like, I don't know, just a steady flow, from the beginning right to the end. So, I mean, all the vocalists that I put on there, I think they all, I mean, I don't want to just call out certain ones, you know what I mean? But everybody that contributed, not just this year, but years and past, I appreciate them, and I just love working with them. There's just so many talented singers out there that, all of them deserve to be mentioned, and it would take a while.
There's so many like undiscovered artists that like really just need to like get more attention too.
Well, yeah, I mean, nobody's undiscovered anymore, to be real, That's the crazy thing. It's like even an undiscovered artist has their own fan base.
Yeah.
So it's great. It's a great time for music, because if you're active and you're out there, you're gaining fans. It's beautiful.
And when talking about playing marathon 10 to 12 hour sets,
We're talking my language.
you've mentioned that you thrive when things get weird. What does that look like for you?
You don't really know when it's going to happen, because, I have like certain tracks that I save for that time of the night. And there's times when I play those tracks because it's like, okay, but people aren't really reacting yet. So it's like, oh, something's a little off, something's not right. So you kind of hold back a little bit. But then once that vibe is there, it can happen earlier and it can happen later. But I think it's just the vibe of the people. I think that's the art of DJing, right? You find where the vibe of the people is and you go with that. I have an idea of where I want to go. I want to get weird, and I want to get weirder and weirder that's the goal. But how deep and at what time and for how long that's the only thing that's to be determined when I'm playing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I love when things like get weird at shows and like DJs really like kind of dive into like those like
The great
sounds.
thing is that a lot of those tracks I don't get to play that often. So sometimes I play the track and I take a step back and I become a participant in it as well, just like everybody else, There's a lot of tracks that I hear every single time I'm playing, but when I get to play those tracks that I don't get to play that often, you become a fan of the music all over again, you know?
Yeah, and those fans in the crowd that like know those tracks, they get so excited to hear it too.
It's amazing. It's amazing vibe when things get really weird.
It's so much fun, honestly.
Thank you.
So some trance fans tend to see their idols as larger than life figures. Do you often feel pressure to measure up to a standard like that?
No, you know what? I'm comfortable in my skin, and I'm comfortable with my place in the trance scene. And I just hope, my goal at this point is to leave a legacy and bring new people on. Like, for example, Daxon, we're bringing him along right now. He's blowing up. He's amazing. To me, that is really what I love giving to the people. Working with people like that and just building them to a point where they're going to be the next stars. So no, I'm comfortable in my skin, and people, that look up to me, it's like, okay, that's great, but here's Daxon, check him out.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice to like give them a platform too.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you find yourself listening to outside of trance or even outside of dance music as a whole?
I mean, that's the thing, right? The beautiful thing about my open to close sets is it really shows how eclectic musically I am. I mean, I don't play, hard rock or even rock or anything like that, but the point is some of the tracks that I do play are inspired by different genres. And it just depends on, what kind of mood I'm in. But I love nostalgia. Like, I'm just embracing nostalgia right now. I think you get to a certain point in your career or a certain point in your life where you look back and you're so busy like grinding out that you didn't get to, I guess, really embrace and appreciate.
Yeah.
Exactly. And now I'm looking back at some of the, some of the tracks that we've gone through 10 years ago, 15 years ago, even 20 years ago. And I listen to them with a different ear now, with fondness, and all the memories come back. So I'm a big fan of nostalgia. I think it's very important in our scene.
I feel like everyone's kind of longing for that nostalgia now and like reminiscing on like the golden era of EDM.
Yeah. But you know what I always say? It's like this right here is their golden era. Everybody has their golden era, and the stuff that we're hearing now, 10 years from now, we're gonna look back and go, wow, those
were the days.
Those were,
Yeah.
So yeah, it happens all the time.
And do you ever feel inspired to maybe start a side project that your fans might not expect?
Yeah, I've had that idea. I mean, we have the Dakota project, which is darker, deeper. A new Dakota track is coming out next month. I'm quite excited about it. But to try something completely different, oh yeah, we're working on it. Yeah, we're working on that. And I mean, I think people kind of get a taste for it. Every year I do a show called the New Year's Rehab, and it's kind of the day after New Year's. And it's inspired by, like, when I was a teenager listening to, like, Italian disco and all the music that was happening in the gay clubs back then, and people like a Purple Disco Machine that are blowing up with that kind of sound. But there's like a lost era in dance music that is, it's missing. It's missing, and I'm putting together an alias that's gonna focus on that kind of lost. I mean, you know what, the thing is, it's like, it's an alias for a reason. It's so I can experiment with it. Whether it, takes hold or not is a different story, but it's just something that I can enjoy and like be creative and be an artist without, people going, oh, Markus is changing his sound or whatever. No, it's just like, I have this longing for nostalgia and going all the way back to, the Italian disco days to try something. And Italian disco is not really disco. It's more like the very first synthesizer kind of tracks. I don't know, it was, they're kind of quirky, a lot of these tracks, but the really good ones, exactly. The really good ones they're really soulful and have some meaning to them for me.
Any insight on when we can expect
I'm still working
more?
on it. I'm still working on it. Because you know what, I have it one track already done, actually a couple tracks already done, but I feel like there's a missing element that I'm still trying to find that makes it special.
Yeah.
It's like the cherry on the cake. It's like, I don't know yet what it is, whether it's a vocalist or another instrument or whatever. There's just something missing, and I'm looking for that.
You will find it, I'm sure.
I'll find it.
And to close with, any upcoming shows you're excited for? Anything we can expect besides the Alias on the horizon?
Well, I mean, every week is an amazing show coming up, but you know, the shows that I really love are the festivals. Got a lot of festivals this summer, and obviously, you know, here at EDC, it's like almost the beginning of you know, the summer festival season. So yeah, I'm honestly really excited for the whole summer.
Yeah, festival season's in full swing, and we're getting
Here
there.
we go. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting with
Thank
us
you.
today.